boys and girls. Welcome to Tacky the Penguin. We are going to be working on day 2, retelling the story. So I need you to find this page in your remote learning materials. Once you have found this page, please cut out each of the squares on the dotted lines. You may pause the video at this point, and when you are done cutting out each of the squares, please find a glue stick or liquid glue and then press play when you are ready to continue on with our lesson. Okay, so now that you have all of these squares cut out, what I would like for you to do, if you have a white sheet of paper to glue them onto provided by your teacher, that's fantastic. If not, any white sheet of scrap paper, it doesn't even have to be white, any piece of paper will work. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through each of the little squares and you're going to glue them in order from 1 to 12. And then we are going to work on the skill of retelling the story. So for starters, on number 1, you're going to find your picture that looks like this. Now remember, you don't have the words on the bottom where it says Tacky greeted differently. You just have the pictures in black and white. So find the one with the 4 penguins on top and the picture of Tacky on the bottom, and it says, "What's happening?" And go ahead and glue this picture on number 1. If at any point you need to rewind or pause this video to keep up with me, say for example you drop one on the floor or can't find one, you can always skip it and come back to it. Just make sure you leave a space to glue it on later, or you can pause the video or rewind like I said. Okay, so this is your first one. Your second one looks like this. Tacky marched differently. Remember, he didn't even count in order from 0 and up. He said 2, 1/2, 0. He jumped all over the place. So find this picture and glue it on your number 2 or glue it after your first one. All right, our third one looks like this. Tacky dived differently. He sure was unique. Find this picture with the 4 penguins diving neatly and Tacky diving crazily into the blue water. Next, we have Tacky singing. Remember that the other penguins sang lovely songs while Tacky sang songs like, "How many toes does a fish have?" It says Tacky sang different songs. His were all kind of silly. Okay, your next one is the hunters came. So find this picture and glue it on. Okay, for our next one, it's a picture of all the penguins hiding. They were afraid of the hunters. Next, it's Tacky. He greeted the hunters, meaning he went up to them and he said, "What's happening?" He was not as afraid as his friends were. After this one, Tacky marched for the hunters, and look at, he's counting those silly numbers that aren't in order again. 2.5, 0. Next, Tacky did a dive for the hunters. So find a picture of Tacky jumping in the water. After that, Tacky sang for the hunters, and his companions joined him. "How many toes does a fish have?" There he goes with that crazy, silly song again. Find this picture and glue it down. Remember, you can pause the video, rewind if I'm going too fast. After this one, the hunters ran away. Tacky was a hero. So on number 12, you should be gluing down the picture of Tacky in front of the other penguins. And mine says, Tacky was a hero. Okay, so if you need to pause the video here or rewind it and go through it again to put them all in order, go ahead and pause the video and do that, and then come back to this page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to the start, and I am going to read what happens on each slide, on each picture. And you guys need to repeat after me. So for example, I would say, Tacky greeted differently. And then you would say, Tacky greeted differently, because this is what happened first in the story. What we're practicing is using each picture to retell the story of Tacky the penguin. For your assignment today, you're going to submit a short video retelling the story Tacky the penguin to your teacher. You can have all of your pictures in front of you, and your grown-up can record for you telling the story of Tacky the penguin to your teacher, looking at each of the pictures, pointing to them, and telling your teacher what each one is. Now, your words do not have to be exactly what we're going to practice right now, but it'll give you a good idea of what we're expecting. So right now, I'm going to say, Tacky greeted differently. You say, Tacky greeted differently. I say, Tacky marched differently. You say, Tacky marched differently. I say, Tacky dived differently. You say, Tacky dived differently. I say, Tacky sang different songs. You say, Tacky sang different songs. I say, one day hunters came. You say, one day hunters came. Whoops. I say, all the penguins hid. You say, all the penguins hid. I say, Tacky greeted the hunters. You say, Tacky greeted the hunters. I say, Tacky marched for the hunters. You say, Tacky marched for the hunters. I say, Tacky did a dive for the hunters. You say, Tacky did a dive for the hunters. I say, Tacky sang for the hunters, and his companions joined him. You say, Tacky sang for the hunters, and his companions joined him. I say, the hunters ran away. You say, the hunters ran away. I say, Tacky was a hero. You say, Tacky was a hero. Okay, so now that we've practiced, your parent, your grown-up, can record a video of you pointing to each picture on your retell paper, telling the story to your teacher of Tacky the penguin. I hope you enjoy retelling the story. I'll see you soon.